Winter is coming.
Where are my dragons?
In the Game of Thrones, you either win or you die.
The things I do for love.
A Lannister always pays his debts.
Chaos is a ladder.
Hodor.
You know nothing, Jon Snow.
We
are the Rewatchers on the wall.
Shame. Bing. Shame. Bing. Shame. Bing. Shame. Bing. Shame.
Bing is the most shameful search engine on the internet. I hear.
That's your real punishment.
Reportedly.
You have to walk through the streets naked, and you can never use Google again.
The search of atonement.
The search for atonement.
Welcome to the
Typing
Rewatchers
Google
on the
into
Wall. We got to this point making you think it was about Game of Thrones, but really we just need to have an important discussion about search engines.
And privacy. DuckDuckGo provides the safest, most private internet searches on the internet.
You know who could keep a secret? Ask Jeeves. You ask Jeeves, like, what is the average penis size? He told you the answer and didn't tell people that you Googled it.
And he did it with his hands and then winked at you.
In that nice touch, he's kind of like a penguin. Okay, welcome to the Rewatches on the Wall.
Thank you.
We're going to talk about episodes 9 and 10 of Season 5, the end of the notorious Season 5, which I feel like we're getting a little flack here for. But I'm Mitchell Marshall here with Tyler Harris, Tyler McKinley, and Riley Harris. Tyler, why don't you summarize these two episodes for us?
Oh, okay. Let me open up my Google search engine. Browser.
Bing.
Oh, my secret.
Sharon.
All right. In episodes 9 and 10 of... Did I say... Yep, okay.
You're
in episodes
good.
9 and 10 of Season 5, Ramsay burns Stannis' camp to the ground. Jon Snow and the surviving wildlings arrive at the wall. Stannis sends Davos back to the wall, but keeps his wife and daughter at the front. Davos gives Shireen a gift before he leaves. Jaime meets with the Dornish royalty. Tristan is going to join the small council at King's Landing. Tristan agrees to set Bronn free on one really dumb condition. Arya continues to sell oysters, then totally ignores her intended target to go after Meryn Trant. An oyster salesman being in a brothel is totally cool. Oh, Meryn Trant is a gross fucking pedophile. Durand gives Ilaria an ultimatum. Stannis talks to Shireen about hard decisions, then makes a dumb fucking decision. Selyse goes to stop it, sort of, while Stannis just stands there, and the Colosseum is now open. Hizdahr and Daario measure dicks, Tyrion and Hizdahr measure dicks, Dany and Hizdahr measure dicks. A Jorah challenger approaches. He almost loses, but then wins the fight and saves Dany from a harpy. Then the clones attack. Holy shit, that's a lot of harpies. Holy shit, it's Drogon. Holy shit, that's a lot of spears. Holy shit, Dany is climbing on that dragon. Melisandre tells Stannis they will win. Whoops, tons of people just deserted, including Melisandre. Selyse hangs herself. Stannis prepares for war. Sam wants to leave to become a maester. Stannis is marching on Winterfell. Sansa is finally going to get the candle in that window. Pod tells Brienne that he saw Stannis. Stannis is real hurt, but he can still fight real good. Ramsay cleans up. Miranda finds Sansa, and she's going to hurt her. Oh, Reek just killed her. Oh, and now they jump off the side of the building. Brienne finds Stannis, and then maybe kills him. I don't know. We didn't see it. Meryn Trant is beating the shit out of little girls. Arya is my fucking hero. I do wish he would have been the first girl in line, though. When she gets back to Jaqen's pad, he is not happy, and then he kills himself. And then the girl is Jaqen, just like I predicted, or no one is Jaqen, and Arya is blind. Jaime and Myrcella leave Dorne and have a talk. Apparently she knew he was her father, and now she's dead because she kissed Oberyn's wife on the mouth. Dornish people are weird. Dany doesn't know where she is. Oh, wait, it's horse country. Tyrion is charged while the real men go to track a dragon. Cersei confesses and then has to atone for her sins. Holy shit. The monster lives. Oh, wow, Benjamin might still be alive. Oh, nope, that's a lot of stabs. Ollie secures a spot in the Dickhead Hall of Fame, and Jon is dead? Question mark?
Man. When you say it like that.
There's a lot of holy shits in there.
Yeah, I love that. Shit hits the fan in a very good way. Let's try and mix up the...
And the queen.
Let's start with Stannis, because we have not had a lot of Stannis this season. And then he gets some moments, if you want to call them. First, Melisandre's just looking in the fire, and then she looks outside, and there's real fire. Good job.
Yeah, I thought it was pretty ironic.
All
so
right.
maybe all the fire she was seeing was them totally getting owned.
She's like, yeah, I thought I saw you winning the war, but it turns out I was just seeing more flames.
I couldn't see the fire because the fire was blocking the flames that were totally all over our camp.
But let me tell you how you can win, even though Ramsay, by the way, said he was going to do this, and he did it. And they're walking out, and he, Davos even says, he's like, probably only had like 20 men. Yeah, Davos. Exactly what he said he was going to do.
You should play Price is Right. Like,
Knew exactly.
Davos didn't know how to read. Dude knows how to count, though, for sure. He's smuggled. Of course he knows how to count.
And, he knows how to whittle. He gives Serena a nice horse as a going-away gift. Stannis
nice.
sends him away.
Mm-hmm.
At least, yeah.
At least someone liked her.
Davos is the dad that she deserves.
Mm-hmm.
All right, let's talk about...
Davos is the dad we all
They
deserve.
kill their
I don't know
daughter
about all of us,
as a sacrifice. She survives grayscale, and then her parents kill her. Oh, boy.
Yeah.
The mom, who was kind of a bee to her and everyone, and a psycho, and eventually kills herself in this episode, she seemed very sad that Shireen was dying. It's like, you didn't seem that concerned in an episode.
Yeah, I got some qualms with that. I was bugged by that. That does not feel like a good moment in this show. It really put me off, because I was so sad, and I had a feeling this was going to happen, because
they telegraphed this quite a bit.
Yeah. I do feel like that's the overarching thing of this season. They telegraph kind of everything really early on.
Yeah.
Which Game of Thrones does that a lot, I feel like, but usually it pays those off really quickly, so you're only ever really like a half step ahead, I feel like.
Or it does things more interestingly than you thought.
Yeah, but this season does feel different in that way, because I feel like a lot of the endings we saw have been telegraphed from the beginning, and now we're finally seeing those things come to fruition. But this was the one that I don't know if I was the saddest about it, but it's like definitely my top 3 saddest. Because Shireen's just a sweet girl, and her and Davos' scenes are always the best. And then, I really didn't like... I didn't really like that switch that they made in Selyse, where like all of a sudden... I don't know. And maybe that's a realistic thing, but...
it kind of all goes out the window, which it thankfully is followed up by Brienne finding him dying on the battlefield.
Mm-hmm.
And she gets to avenge her dear Renly.
But does she actually do it?
I will comment on, and no up in the air deaths will be commented on. Anything else on Stannis before Dorne?
No, I do like that, like, when he is wounded and he kills those 2 guys and he just,
Yeah,
like,
he's
falls
still
in the
going.
tree. My wife pointed out, she's like, he just seems annoyed that he's lost at this point. He doesn't seem, like, devastated or freaking out or anything. He's just, like, slightly...
She even asked for his last words, and he goes like, "You do what you got to do."
Yeah.
YOLO.
But yeah, that's the end of Stannis Baratheon.
Yeah.
Well, let's get Dorne over with.
Yeah.
Marcella is down there just flouncing around in her ugly dresses with Trystane, and he's got quite a bit of chest hair for a young lad. And she says the Dornish climate agrees with
Something
me.
I didn't notice.
You
Wait,
did-
she has?
No, he does. This is the first time I noticed it, where I was like, "Oh, Trystane rocking some chest hair. He's ready. He's ready to be with his
You even
betrothed."
said it in your Dornish accent.
That's right. All right. Okay. Here's what I wrote. Illyria is mean. Wheelchair guy is a chump. Jamie is a douche. Anything else we need to say about Dorne? Just kidding.
Also, everything that happens to Bronn and Dorne is stupid.
Yeah. It's dumb.
The gag of like, on one condition, cutaway, and the conditions that he gets punched is
He
like...
gets decked, yeah.
That's the most 90s ass
It was like maybe some
dumb
soup
thing.
instead of pie.
Oh my gosh.
That
yeah.
pie looks good.
Not a
That's
fan.
terrible. Terrible.
Yeah. Dorne is a clusterfuck of a...
But pretty much they're like, yeah, Trystane can go with you as long as he can sit on the small cancel, which makes no sense, but I guess he has hair on his chest, so it's fine. And then Illyria, in a very uncomfortable moment, kisses Marcella goodbye.
Which Jamie is just, like, totally unfazed by.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well,
Yeah.
he's kind of into the alt sex scene.
She did come to him earlier and be like, well, can't choose who you love, I guess. So
He's like,
he's like, I'll keep your secret if you keep mine.
My question is, why is Trystane going to come on why is he not in the room with them?
what I want to know is...
Yeah, that's a good question,
Yeah,
too.
that is
Nothing in Dorne makes
There
sense.
are a lot of things like that in Dorne. Like, why the hell are the Sand Snakes at the farewell of the sailing off of Marcella? Like,
Because they're the
Yeah.
only other people who are in Dorne that we know.
There's like 5 people in the
Oh,
whole
you tried
country.
to kill this girl? Come say goodbye.
And Larry's like, I'll give you second chance, but not third. And he's trying to like lay down the law. And I'm like, Broseph, this is embarrassing.
Yeah, and then Braun says goodbye to the. That's
Yeah,
a weird,
that was weird.
Oh yeah, that. Let me read this line back for you. Oh, you like the good girls, but you need the bad pussy. I like her ear.
Wow.
Oh, were you watching the extended?
The Evander Holyfield special. Oh yeah. Oh yeah.
Oh, wow.
My-
Okay. So it's weird. Not
yeah,
the great.
if you didn't think it was weird before, you definitely do now.
Yeah, they had chemistry. No, but okay.
Yeah, and then Marcella dies.
Yeah, she
Because
had
of
a
Yeah.
poison,
solid
obviously.
'Cause
6
it's
minutes of screen
obvious
time.
poison.
And man,
Did you guys think she was? Did you think she poisoned her when she kissed her, or did you think this was like an intimidation move from a very openly sexual human?
I didn't pick up on it. I just thought she
I
was
didn't either.
being-
The first time I watched it.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean,
I wrote in my notes poison calling it. And then I have it. I said poison called it, bitches.
Oh,
100 points. Bing.
Riley nailed it. Yeah,
You just got 30 Bing points. You have to redeem to your Microsoft account.
but first, even though she calls him uncle the whole time, and then all of a sudden she doesn't want to leave. She's like, I just want to be here. And then she's good. She's like, okay, we can go to King's Landing. And oh yeah, I know you're my dad. It's fine. I didn't like Robert anyway.
That was.
yeah, she
I'm so
is-
happy you guys are together. Like, what? Why would you say that to your
That
uncle
was the weirdest
about your
scene.
mom?
I will say, when her nose started to bleed, I was like, oh, thank God I don't have to watch any more of this.
She's bad at acting. Sorry, Nell. Tiger Free. Your
And she
acting is
replaced
worse
the
than your
previous
name.
one, too.
Yeah.
So the previous one's probably pretty upset.
I honestly don't even remember the previous one.
I don't either.
Well,
I can't
Tom
think
Mann
of
is
her
played by a
face.
different actor too, and they're
Right, I
just
knew
two
that,
little
yeah.
weird random kids who are just kind of there and rather goofy looking. And I think they picked someone purposely who was more standardly good looking and
Yeah.
could be a Lannister, even though they're a product of incest, and there's a good chance they all would have been a little ugly. That's the other thing. Remember, she's mentally ill. We got to take that into. But
You're right.
yeah, I'm
Modern
glad
science
she's
does
gone.
apply.
I do my okay. Really, the best part is when she's like, "Do you think Mom will like him?
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
Do you think Cersei will?"
Does she like
Yeah.
anyone?
Oh,
Can't think of
yeah.
anyone.
No.
He's like, and Jamie's like, if you love him, she'll
If you're happy.
she'll try to kill him.
I'm pretty sure the first thought Jamie had was like, I'm not even sure if she likes me anymore. No one knows.
Yeah.
But yeah, it was weird. Glad we're done with Dorne.
Yeah.
I hope we're done with Dorne.
Oh,
Damn it, we're not done with Dorne. I'm sure.
I,
There's enough stuff they set up. I'm sure we're not.
there's
done.
nothing left of Dorne that's as bad as what we've seen of Dorne.
That's good.
You've seen the worst of Dorne.
Oh, good.
You're welcome.
But it doesn't reach any high highs by any means.
Oh, but we might get to like the Vegas of Dorne next season, right?
That's that's the side series. That's
Oh.
the spin-off.
Viva
Let's talk about the
Dorne.
character
Reopen the
collision
gambling pits.
that I've actually been waiting for.
Okay.
Mace Tyrell and Arya Stark. As she watches, she's out on her little mission, and then she sees it, and my guy Mace is just singing. He's just into it.
Such an idiot.
Oh, I love it.
Mr. Tyrell has never been on a business trip before. It's like when Michael Scott goes on that business trip
Yes.
to Canada.
Yes.
He's like, here's my per diem. And they're like, okay, you're just giving it to us now, I guess. Like, yeah, he's oblivious to
Oh, I like that you called him Mr. Tyrell. That's what I wrote in my notes.
everything.
That's how I refer to him now. Just
Yeah.
Mr. Tyrell.
Mr. Tyrell is great. I really do.
I love how the guy from the Iron Bank just doesn't. He looks so uncomfortable. I just think of him as Sherlock's brother, friend, guy. He's a guy in Sherlock.
I'm just upset that he doesn't look Italian in any sort. This is an Irish man running the Italian bank, and
Yeah,
it's
they should have cast a real Bravosi for this.
yeah.
So I don't want to give Trant the time of day, but it culminates in a good moment for Arya. So
Yes.
we can address this brothel where you can get clams with your clams.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's honestly, I was like, that's probably on top 5 worst brothel foods is
Yeah.
is oysters. But man, I will say the scene where this culminates is one of the hardest scenes I feel like I've had to watch in Game of Thrones up until this point. It was... I had my hand on. I almost was like, I might jump a little bit because it's really hard to watch. This kind of for me goes back to the Joffrey with the horse scene.
Mm-hmm.
But now it's Joffrey's pet and he's abusing. I mean you should never, but they're younger. And so pretty much he's a pedophile. He keeps asking for younger and younger whores. He gets the youngest and he says that's not young enough, and they clearly get a serving girl. Whatever. Arya witnesses this, and so she adopts a face for the first time.
Mm-hmm.
Mm-hmm.
And I like that she stabs his eyes out and stabs him a few times, but he's still alive and she's still talking to him before the slow throat slit.
It's good.
Yeah.
It's real good.
I loved it.
Mm-hmm.
This is the thing that I wanted this season to deliver on for Arya for sure.
Mm-hmm.
And it did take a while to get there, and we saw a lot less of Arya, which is a bummer. But yeah, that was there was some good what's the word I'm thinking of?
Schnapps.
Yep, it really is a schnapsy scene.
Yeah, lots of schnapps.
Well, the fact that she really
Catharsis,
adopts another
that's what I was looking
face,
for.
and
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Although she fails in her mission, it's important.
Oh yeah, totally ignores.
Yeah,
And she says, "I'm Arya Stark." Before
Yeah.
she kills him.
I was like, she's not no one.
I would have been shocked if she pulled Needle out of that smock.
I wish. That'd have been bomb.
That would be pretty cool. But yeah, and then the stuff that happens in the House of Black and White after that
I like it.
confused me even more about what's going on there, and I like that. Yeah,
Yeah,
I like
to me,
that
they have not put enough around that for me to be like, no, I need to know the exact mythology. Just, I love seeing face after face. It was like Mission Impossible 3. It's just like, we knew you had the face trick, but this is another level. The whole multiple Jack-ins, I'm like, you know what? At this point, I don't even care. I don't even care.
You mean our fan fiction that apparently
Yes.
is real?
I know.
Everyone
we
is
didn't want to
Jack-in.
say anything.
I seriously, when the waif, is that what we're calling her? That one
Yeah.
girl?
I don't know
When-
where that
The
comes
bitch.
from, but I swear she's called
Okay.
the Wave.
Yeah, when she was just behind Arya, and then it was Jaqen, I almost stopped the episode because I was like, no. But yeah, that was a wonderful validation of me.
So I'm going to ask an important question. This serves for Arya and Sansa. Do you think that they're too far gone now, too bitter and angry to be good people, good rulers, good Starks again?
No.
No?
I don't think so. I think Arya can get there. She just needs to get through her shit. But she's also a kid, so like...
Yeah, she just needs
I
to
don't
get
know.
to that rough
Thing, I mean-
teenage phase where you're killing everyone who wronged you.
She's really
Yeah, you're
angsty.
probably right.
She's got quite the
No.
vengeance streak, and now she's getting she's learning how to use it.
I mean,
Yeah.
I will say I don't have any reason to think Sansa couldn't, I guess. Arya, I don't see... but I don't know that I've ever seen Arya as someone who would rule.
Right.
Like, she doesn't want that, and...
Can
I
you
also
see
don't
her
think
like
she's
having
the
a
one for the
happy,
temperament for it.
like a happy, peaceful life?
I don't
Not
know.
peaceful. I think she could be happy just being like a weird faceless
Her
assassin.
whole goal right now is just revenge on a list of
Yeah.
people and what
Yeah.
happens when they're all gone. You know?
She's the character that is in her later years played by Sam Elliott and drinks heavily. Like that's what I see Arya Stark as, you
She
know.
gets in tavern brawls.
Yeah.
Yep.
She could kind of be a Geralt-y character, I guess. She could find happiness at some point.
Unless you're
at the
playing
right-
her.
Yeah, well, fuck the Emperor. Yeah, anyways.
But yeah, no, it's one of the most satisfying of her kills on her list that we've seen so
Yeah.
far.
And she says he was first.
She it's the one that she's like most it's all on her own.
Yeah.
Others are usually kind of like delivered to her in some way, shape, or form.
She goes
but she
against
just takes it. It's satisfying.
Any other thoughts on Bravos?
No, I will say Arya is one of my favorite parts of this season for sure.
Yeah.
that's
Yeah.
that's
The
really
thing,
good.
the first time I watched it, I thought, oh, well, one, there is not enough. Like, clearly she's not getting a lot of screen time. But I remember thinking it goes slow, and I'm like, no, when you think about how much screen time she has, like, a lot does happen.
Yeah.
She does go from 0 to hero. Hercules,
Yeah, she has her
assassin.
she has her Hogwarts experience.
She does.
It happens, and then some crazy shit goes down. So
Let's cover Sansa real quick there because she actually doesn't have a ton of screen time either. Ramsay is distracted by the impending attack from the very small army of Stannis, and she is trying to escape. She's got another very fancy outfit on, I will say.
yeah, no, that's for sure.
And she grabs a candle, and she's running, and she runs into the very evil, jealous Kennel Master's daughter. I would like to remind us that Miranda the bitch is the Kennel Master's daughter. And I'm not insulting her station in life. I am simply saying she's a bitch who takes care of bitches.
She's a bitch keeper.
She is.
Yes. She also, I mean, she does get the candle up in the window.
Right.
About 3 seconds too late, which is the title of of Sansa Stark's biography, I'm sure, at some point. Which is a huge bummer.
Yeah.
And then kind of the way that resolves, I've also got mixed feelings on because it's what I wanted to happen 3 episodes ago. If it had happened 3 episodes ago, I would have liked it more. Is that Reek kind of turns, and then she follows an obviously unstable man off a very precarious jump, which I'm not sure how that's gonna end.
Yeah, I don't think they're gonna get very far with their broken legs. Like,
I was a little,
falling from the same height they just threw
annoyed
Miranda from.
how over dramatic that. Like, they made the wall way higher than I read it in the book.
Yeah.
And, like, the snow's not as deep.
Oh, right.
And I'm like, there's no chance in hell anyone would survive, at least with intact limbs,
yeah.
off that jump. And I don't care how deep that snow is there.
But yeah, that is a dramatic exit, and I mean, it's the first time Sansa has been in a group of people that I'm, like, 80% sure aren't going to kill or rape her, so that's good.
Well, he
Well,
can't rape her.
Oh, that's right.
can't
Well,
do it.
not penally.
Well, yeah. Rape can be a lot of things. So
I liked the way Miranda's head cracked open. By the way, it was that was well done. Also,
thanks.
I wanted to make sure we understood that was well done. I will say one thing over the season is we watched Reek get destroyed mentally for 2 seasons, and we saw to the level where he would not go with his sister and he would not kill Ramsay with the chance to do so.
Yeah.
I will say not everything that happened to Sansa was necessary, but Sansa, something very familiar from his entire growing up, and the amount of time it takes him to come out of that for the time it took him to get in, I do buy that. I do that it took all of that for him to turn and to finally do the right thing. Or a good thing.
Yeah.
And again, and now Sansa does know her little bros are alive, which is dope.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
I'm hoping that means that we see Tonks again soon. But
Yeah,
I don't
where
know
is
if we
she?
will, but
Her and Rickon are just...
they went. Where
Was
did they
Rickon
go?
in season 4? Was it the beginning of season 4 or was it 3 when they leave?
End of 3, I think.
Were they
Yeah.
like going to Castle
It's
Black or
it's
something?
end
But
of
they
3 'cause
never.
John's still not
gone.
back at the wall. He's still with the Wildlings.
Yeah,
Yeah.
they're going to the they're going to the Umbers, which is just a trusted northern house. So yeah, we haven't seen them. We knew Bran wasn't going to be in this season. But yeah, it is precarious that those two just tweedle off.
Yeah.
Tweedle tweedle.
So hopefully we'll see. I really want to see. I miss her. I miss
Mhm.
Asha.
She was great.
Let's even. I know it's a big moment, but the last 3 we have here are pretty huge. Let's go to Cersei.
Okay.
Is that where Sansa ends for the season?
Yes.
Is it
Yeah,
there?
jump
Jumping
off the walls.
thing, yeah.
Spoiler: she's alive. Damn it. I'm just kidding.
But she could still be maimed.
Her and Bran could be twinners.
Oh, if they had her
Am
jump
I
out the
allowed to
same
say
window-
that?
Theon becomes her Hodor.
Reek. Except for he has a lot harder time carrying
And
her
she's
than
taller
Hodor had
than him,
carrying.
so.
Oh my gosh.
Higher.
What have you done?
Stop dragging your feet. You're dragging my feet.
You guys need to stop guessing these things correctly.
Oh.
Oh my gosh.
Reek.
Where are we going,
Now
Mitchell?
I'm also just
King.
picturing Jaqen carrying a Jaqen on his back. Jaqen
one.
might be my favorite character in this show
No
now.
one. No one. It's
Because he's everywhere.
Yeah.
Jaqen
anyways.
is every character.
Yeah, he's great.
This has really been the Jaqen show all along. Let's talk about Cersei confesses her sins and has to atone.
Yeah.
Did you feel bad for Cersei?
I do. I don't know. I might like Cersei more than anyone here. I don't know. I know you.
Well, you can like her as a character,
Well, no,
but she's
I
really...
really like her as a character.
Yeah.
I just like... I don't know. It's a Draco Malfoy situation where it's like you
well,
love to hate him.
I mean, I think she's the best kind of villain because you empathize with her. Because you understand
she has layers,
her.
yes.
You know where she has come from and why she is that way.
But the lines she's willing to go to bother me.
Yeah, I mean, it bothers me too, but it doesn't bother me so much that I don't understand it. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
It's kind of like we talked about with the Boltons. Like that's the thing that is so intriguing to me about her. And also, I can't remember the name of the actress who plays her. She's incredible. Like her performance, especially in this season and in these episodes, kind of blew me away. The scene of her atonement and her walk from the Sept to the Red Keep is incredible. Yeah. And I think it's a great example of when Game of Thrones does extreme and brutal things just tastefully enough.
Yeah.
It's a long walk.
Yeah, it's incredible. And when you first see her feet, I was, man, this scene's really rough, but I loved it. I think that Cersei's stuff is some of my favorite stuff this season too, because
to see her broken down.
Yeah,
she's in power for the full first 4 seasons.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, and I loved it. I thought it was great.
It's like nobody deserves the Dementor's kiss, but like, you know, if it happens to some people. No, yeah, that's the thing. Like when I asked last episode when she's sucking water off of her cell ground, like, did you feel bad for her? And we were like, no, but this is like toward the line where it's like, should anyone ever have to endure that?
Yeah.
So her name's Lena Headey, but she's in a lot of things. She's very good. You'd recognize her. But she plays. I saw her in something recently, and I don't think I watched the whole thing where she was just like a mom wearing like a Kiss T-shirt, and I was like, dang, she's good, and she's a really talented lady.
Yeah, she's great.
She does use a body double in this. Which I thought they did a great job. I don't know if you guys noticed that. This was the first time I was specifically looking during a wide, and I could see it a little bit more.
Same. I didn't know it the first time. This time I did. So there were a couple shots where I could tell.
There was one part with her face where it looked kind of weird, and so I was wondering if she used one. But
I didn't even notice.
She's done nudity before, but just I remember after this episode came out, they're like, well, she like for various reasons she specifically wanted to use a body double, obviously, and they gave that actress a lot of credit because they were like. What a shitty situation to be in.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, what an incredible.
But yeah, her
thing.
face, her emotion through the whole thing, because you can't break, but you've got to play that line so well.
Yeah, and then she does break at the end, and it's
yeah,
that's a really great journey for that character. It makes me really stoked to see her next season. Yeah, especially because she has a Frankenstein now.
Yes, I'm so excited about that.
Yeah. That might be my favorite trio in the show right now is Kyber, Frankenstein, and Cersei.
Like he's really just carrying her the whole way.
Yeah.
He's only got one head, which is a little disappointing.
Yeah. I know. Wanted more heads.
But that helmet just being smashed over his face, so it can't.
Really good.
She's also she only admits to sleeping with Lancel. She doesn't admit to the rest of
Yeah, that is worth noting. Which she's clearly convincing enough.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah,
but she's still going to have
always
a
wondering
trial.
if the Sparrow was. Yeah, he was saying there's still a trial ahead.
Right.
But yeah, I was trying to read his face. Mm-hmm. But the important thing is like she's in the Red Keep and she has this guy and she like. I see. That's the thing is I'm not rooting for Cersei, but I am I don't want her to be in the Sparrow's control.
Yeah, I'm like there are worse. There are people that want to watch less than her. So.
Whoa.
There was a
I
flicker.
spoke blasphemy.
Cersei is haunting us.
This could be a podcast in the dark very soon.
But yeah, it was great. I think all that stuff is really interesting.
Have you guys ever admitted to something and not admitted the full amount of what you did to try and get out of it?
Yeah, I was a teenager, Mitchell.
Just the two.
Almost daily for several years.
This one time, I got into my dad's tools and I left them all over the garage. And I forgot that I had even done that. And my dad confronted me about it. And he was like, did you leave the tools all over the garage? I'm like, hell no, I didn't leave the tools all over the garage. And then halfway through me saying that, I was, oh shit, I did. But then Then I was like, I can't be like, oh, just actually, no, I did, because then it'll look like I'm backpedaling, which was a dumb thing. I should have just done that. But for some reason, that seemed really bad in my head. You're like, oh, he'll think I'm so stupid for doing that. So I did worse. I was like, whoever did do it
You should really
probably
forgive
feels
not that
really bad. He just looked at me like, you're a fucking idiot.
One time, my sister got this cake from a.
So I had to make my walk of atonement.
Oh, that's good.
Anyway, my sister got a cake and she had like a row of it left, right, in like a 8x13 pan, and someone ate it, and it was not me, but me and my two other youngest were the youngest of 6, the 3 of us. Yeah, that makes sense. We were all grounded, and so I went up to my mom and I was like, because I just really wanted to go outside and ride my bike. I was like, yeah, I ate it, but I only ate some. I only ate the corner. And so she was like, thanks for being honest. You can go play, and kept the other 2 down there because she assumed, I think, that we ate it together and that I was the only one to confess. Years later, my brother's like, yeah, I ate that whole thing.
Wait, older brother or younger?
Older brother.
Of course.
So, like, I'm probably 6, which means he's probably 11. Like, he's a kid, but he's not that little.
Yeah.
But the cake looked really good. I think it was better than sex cake, but they didn't want to say the words better than sex
Better
to me
than
at
sex
that
with
age.
your brother?
Mm-hmm.
So, we're comparing it to
We're going back to
it's-
Cersei.
that's the Game of
Yeah,
Thrones
yeah.
recipe.
Not-
Cersei had better than... Okay,
Better than incest cake.
yeah.
It doesn't exist. It's just an empty plate. Nothing is better.
Cersei doesn't believe in anything called better than sex with your brother. Her nephew was a poor substitute. Okay, anything else happen in King's Landing? We don't really see any Tyrell stuff there, do we?
Yeah, no Tyrell stuff. No more Lancel
a little bit.
stuff.
Did we see a little bit of Marjorie?
I don't think
I
so.
don't. I haven't. I
No.
feel like we haven't seen her since Cersei went and saw her before she was imprisoned, right?
Yeah, that was last time.
So, do you guys? I guess. Should we? Edit this out. Should we talk about Danny or should we talk about John?
Dude, let's go to the Battle of Geonosis. Let's do it.
Yes, I literally said that to Riley. I was like, it got pretty Attack of Clonesy, but I dug it.
Yeah.
Yeah, let's talk about the pits. Let's go to the pits.
The pits. Oh, that's one of my favorite scenes. It's also talk about Attack of the Clones. It's also like when I became a man because I was really into midriffs. Like you had Brittany and Christina were always
Attack
showing
of
their
the Clones
midriffs.
was, I thought you were talking about this scene.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I was like,
This
This
is when
scene,
I became a
this
man.
viewing is when I became
When I was
a man.
24 years old.
Dude, I thought you were going to confess to banging Natalie Portman or something. That was...
That would not be a confession. That would be like an expression of like, not that she's...
when I became a man.
Oh. But when her shirt gets ripped, I was just, and she's in like that white fighter outfit. I'm like, yeah, that's my gladiator. All right.
I get it. I get everything.
Thanks, guys. Okay. So anyway, there's a fight.
Yeah. Which is preceded by a bunch of
Oh yeah.
obnoxious men conversations that are just
the
the
masculine
cringiest.
banter between.
Yeah.
Can I ask though, that first fight? It's a bit the quick guy versus the strong guy. Who would you have put your 10 silvers on?
Well, I was going the big guy because last time I bet on the small guy, his head got exploded. So yeah.
I was going
Been
for the
burned
quick guy.
before.
I was thinking I had the same mindset as
Dario
Dario
Naharis.
Naharis. But in the next one, I put 20 silver on Jorah. But I couldn't quite remember what happened, so I hedged my bet, and I bet on the over-under that the spear guy would kill 2 guys. And let's just say I nailed both.
You got
So
yeah,
it
you
made up
did
for
it.
me losing in the first round. Hi, my name is Mitchell, and I have a problem.
And that's why my payment is late, but now I have all of it.
Yeah. I'm sorry, did you want half a payment on time or the whole payment 2 months late? Also, Jorah's really making eye contact when he makes his first couple kills. And I'm like,
Yeah.
this is like kissing with your eyes open, my guy. You don't need to do that.
Yeah, that was pretty bizarre. Tyrion stuff, I love to have him back in the mix.
Oh gosh,
With-
it's so good.
Back in
Yes.
court, talking
Yeah.
to other rich people. It's
He
really
knows
good.
how to be rich. I love it.
Yeah.
I will say also one of those fighters looked like a water dancer.
that is definitely
I just wanted to make that observation.
Yeah.
It's cool.
Yeah, that's cool.
First time we actually get to see one.
Rest in peace, that one guy who was killed by Trant, who Arya just killed. Connection.
Or did he?
We never see it. It never happens on screen.
Dude. Frankenstein battle between the mountain and Frankenstein Serial Pharrell.
And then Lady Cragheart shows up.
Yeah. She's just controlling them with puppet strings, literal ones.
Literal.
She's
Actually
floating in the
controlling
air,
their limbs.
like Phantom Mantis or whatever his name is.
Psycho Mantis.
Psycho Mantis.
Sweet Coden. There's one person maybe that
I was
knows
gonna
the
say,
reference.
I don't
Whoop, that went over my head.
Yeah. Yeah, and then
PlayStation 1 classic.
anyway, Jorah throws a spear at her, but it's really not at her. It's
Yeah.
it's a harpy, a harpy assassin, who's gonna kill her.
I think that's a really good the reveal of the attack and the way they start coming out of the crowd and just
They're
emerging
so-
to see what's
they're
happening.
everywhere.
Yeah,
Yeah, it's really good.
it is great. I kind of want to go and watch the scene where the crowd is just behind them and see if in the same robes you then in the next scene see them with harpy masks on.
Oh,
Just see
yeah.
if there's a comparison.
So we
Yeah,
can
that's
identify these people.
That's right. I want to get them in trouble.
Find them.
So we can make a national registry.
Hello,
You
is
have
this
to
Mr.
register,
Martin?
you
I
have to
know.
register.
I know who the harpies are.
George, they gave it away. I got it. Just took a little. Did you guys think Hisdar was part of it because he comes in late and says he was just taking care of things?
Oh, I
Oh,
didn't
maybe.
even think about that, honestly.
Oh yeah, I think of it as a
I
red
didn't
herring.
actually.
Like you kind of think for a minute, and then he gets stabbed, and it's
I'm
kinda
so
fun.
happy. He's annoying.
Yeah,
Yeah, he
I
wasn't great.
didn't like him.
I wasn't too sad to see him go, honestly.
So in the book, his character, it's a lot more heavy-handed that he is part of the harpies.
And then
I'm-
he isn't?
I'm pretty
Or-
sure he is. He doesn't get killed in the thing in the book. So it's
Oh,
like,
interesting.
they try and leave some gray area, but it's much more heavily like the politics there. You'd probably enjoy it because I know how much you enjoy King's Landing, but the politics there involved in her whole world with the rich people and trying to balance that is much more interesting. But I always felt like even a waste in the books where I was like, why are we in Marine
it's
doing this?
too much time.
Yeah.
There was even too much time in the show. So and it's a lot cleaner and quicker in the show.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
But man, yeah. So yeah, they get cornered.
It's fun watching them all fight. I was a little disappointed in some of the Unsullied getting killed by harpies. I was like, you should be better than that. But
Yeah.
in general, like the
It's kinda
main characters,
Like
it's fun.
that slow thing where they like are all just surrounding him, and then
Yeah.
it's like a couple people at a time are like trying to. That was like a really I like.
It's like battle droids killing Jedi. That disappointing.
yeah.
It just felt like that last minute in Zombies when you're just getting crushed.
And we are going hard on video game references here.
And Mitchell only plays like 5, so I'll holla at you when Mario Kart comes up. But the dragon come out, like, were you guys like, was that like a big moment? Like, exciting for you?
Yeah, it was cool.
When that first happened, I remember just being like, hell yeah!
Yeah,
Let's go!
get him,
My
dragons.
boy. Drogon's back.
You just ran back to the table and being like, $50 on the dragon.
No one was there. There was some
There
blood.
was just a bowl for offerings to the harpies. But yeah, that was really cool, and yeah, I like that a lot. It was fun, and I think it's a cool moment for several characters, like kind of seeing Tyrion,
Yeah.
as he's like
Yeah.
seeing all of it and like that stuff, and even Jorah a little bit is still like he's like, oh yeah, she has big ass dragons,
Yeah.
and apparently she can ride them.
Yeah, I didn't. This is the first time. Like, this is like a hair raising moment, and then she gets on a dragon for the friend. She kind of abandons her friends when it still looks like they're very outnumbered.
Yeah, I was like, she's peacing out.
It's true, yeah.
They survive, I guess.
There was room for more on that dragon.
It looked very uncomfortable, though. Like, those spikes she was grabbing onto, I was like, oh,
Yeah,
man.
like you can't bear saddle a dragon.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, that would
Yeah.
be great.
She's going to have some sores on her legs. Oh, man.
Yeah.
I'm pretty worried about that. Is there quality, like, lotion? Neosporin?
I use Aquaphor on my son for his diaper rash, so that's what I go
Okay.
for.
You need to go give Danny some Aquaphor, okay?
Yeah, that could be problematic.
This is for your thighs.
You have a rash. You probably didn't notice because you were elated riding your dragon.
Another day of that, and you'll end up like your husband.
Dark.
Things get infected.
Does this look infected? Is that the name of a band? No, that's the name of an album. Okay.
Sum 41 album, yes.
Yeah.
It's recently had its 10th
Wow,
anniversary,
we
I
have
believe.
had a
so-
lot of references to outside
Or 15th
material
anniversary
today.
20. I don't know. It came out.
They dropped an album last year, didn't they? Oh, no.
Yeah, they are.
Oh.
Okay,
They're
hold
like
on.
still going.
We're gonna detour for 1 minute and say the reason I knew Sum 41 was still a band 2 years ago was their album was nominated for Best Rock Album, and that's when I knew the
Whoa.
Grammys were like absolute bullshit.
I like what
you
the
knew?
Grammys did last night, though. That like popular artists, like hip hop artists, won everything, and all of a sudden for best album, they're like Casey Musgraves. I think
That
some
is a
country
good,
female.
That is a good album, though.
it?
I will defend that album. Casey Musgraves is wonderful. All right, so Game of Thrones.
Game of Thrones. By the way, Simple Plan also with a comeback album last year. Okay, all right. Okay. So she rides the dragon. Now Tyrion's in charge. The other two guys are going to go look for her. Another buddy comedy on the way.
Yeah. I'm less excited for this one.
Yeah.
Dario is kind of not lived up to what I thought he might be. I don't know. He's not quite as
Maybe it's
great
because he
so far.
started out so bad that I like him.
It might be, yeah, maybe.
When you go from Fabio to not Fabio.
But yeah, I'm excited to see the Marine Small Council. Is that what we
with
can we just call him
Tyrion,
that?
Grey Worm, and
Yes.
Missandei.
Yeah. And
Yes.
Varys. Varys
Yes.
shows up.
Oh yeah,
Varys.
Varys just finally pops
Oh,
back up.
I was
Very
so
happy about
excited.
that. When Tyrion's like, "I missed you," I was like, "Oh, these guys
they're
are
best
great."
friends.
I love
I
these
wrote
guys.
like BFFs in my notes.
What took Varys so long to get there? Come on, my guy. I guess they took the shortcut through Valeria.
Yeah,
He didn't
Yeah.
know where he was. He had to go
Yeah,
find
so
out.
maybe he was
where
looking
was.
around. Yeah, I don't know.
He was
He was
listening to
waiting
his
for his
little
birds.
birds. Hey. All right. Anything else on Essos before we head to the wall?
She gets taken by Dothraki.
Oh yeah.
Oh yeah, we should
Oh, yeah,
note that. Yeah.
She ends up in a field. She's like, "Hey, fly me back to Marine. Fly me back to Marine. At least give me some food." Literally, she really says that. And then some Dothraki show up in the middle of a very nice green field.
Yeah.
Which looks oddly similar to the place from season 1 where Ned cuts off that dude's head from the first scene. I'm
Oh,
wondering
I
if it's
bet
the
they're
same
both
location.
in the Irish Highlands.
Interesting.
Yeah.
Anyway, for Marine to the wall. To the wall.
Good one.
Let those. I'm gonna stop.
I
there.
just want to say that, like, I really like Jon now at this point in the show.
Yeah, he's great.
I
Super good.
am very invested in his character. He doesn't bother me anymore. There are little things about, like, things that I let go a lot, some things, but some things that just genuinely bothered me about him, and those are gone.
I like when I liked this just because there was so much. Everyone was pissed, and I was like, "No, we did it again. You got netted again." And I think John's purpose was to explore north of the wall, was to give us the bigger picture. And I think a lot of him now wanted to be the Ned, wanted to be the Rob. And so when he died, like, yeah, it did suck. And some things felt wasted. But I was into it. Other than I wanted Ollie to die as well. I should also say,
Frickin' Ollie.
I spoiled this for my sister. I had watched this on we share an HBO account. I had watched this and I thought I had finished it, like I was in the credits. But I just stopped it and left, and she's like, when she opened it, it was him laying on the ground in blood. I've never felt worse in my life. And I spoiled the end of Breaking Bad for my roommate. So,
Oh my gosh.
Yeah.
we can talk to the lead up a little bit. John comes back with the wildlings.
Yes.
Yep.
And they get in.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Well, Sam,
Oh yeah, Sam and Gilly, peace out.
Sam wants to
Did
go be
they
a
leave?
maester.
I didn't realize if they had actually left.
Mhm.
But I can't
At
remember
the very
if Sam
end,
left
they
or
do, yeah.
okay.
Yeah.
I think because he's like, Sam, if you leave, who's going to give me advice? And he's like, well, Ed's here.
Yeah.
The cynic.
He's like, I need to leave.
But Sam makes his play like this is it, and Sam is happy, and John they kind of exchange this knowing thing that like Sam and Gilly are clearly together. And he's like, well, I'm glad the end of the world is working out for someone.
Yeah.
But good for Sam, like he's making his play. This is what he's always wanted, and his growth over the last season and a half has been awesome, and so it's really fun to see him headed towards something. We're gonna get to see him outside of Castle Black.
Yeah. I'm excited for that.
That'll be cool.
I don't know if John's dead. I don't think John's dead.
No, because Melisandre shows up, and that's like a lot of king's blood in the snow.
Yeah. And
Oh, in the snow. I see what you did there.
and also, I do have foresight, as we've determined because of what I
Yes.
said about Jaqen. Last episode, I also brought up Beric Dondarrion a lot. and
Yes.
that guy died a lot.
Mm-hmm.
At least twice that I know of, or 3 times, or 6.
He mentions
I
in
can't
there
remember.
So
yeah.
many
Yeah.
times.
What's that guy? What's that awesome guy's name? Moros?
Thoros.
Thoros of Mir.
Wow. That seemed like
Sometimes-
intentional to get that wrong.
Sometimes the vision into the into the
Tauros of
ether.
Mir?
Sometimes the vision into the ether distorts things.
Yeah,
you
no,
know,
like the flames.
yes, exactly. Like I'm looking through flames on the side of my face. But yeah, so I don't think he's dead. I think,
No.
I think Melisandre's gonna do something. I hope. I don't know. I also am curious to see like what her plan is, because I think she's having a faith crisis. I'm not
She
entirely
should be.
sure. She was super bummed out. I
She was
loved
pieced out.
one of my favorite shots in this show so far is when
The
the
shot
guy's
from
like,
the witch.
what?
The shot from the witch. Oh,
Oh,
never mind.
wait, the shot from the.
Forget I said anything.
Okay.
That's in the next episode.
Okay.
of season 6.
Well, now my mind is going crazy because I love the witch. So I think when the guy's like, "Oh yeah, half the men deserted," and you just see Melisandre's face, I was like, "Oh, it's their egg on your face, my dear." So yeah, I'm. It was cool. That's again. I think some of the best moments in Game of Thrones are when you see characters that you've come to know in one capacity in a very unknown and different situation, and I always feel like that's rewarding in this show.
It is.
So it's really good.
Were you guys like when the first guy came up and stabbed? When you kind of realized this was a coup, were you shocked?
I wasn't shocked. I was just pissed that they were actually doing
Like,
it.
what moment did you know what was happening?
Okay, so I do actually want to talk about this because this is where the previously on Game of Thrones thing comes into play. Is in the previously on Game of Thrones thing to this episode, they show pretty much every scene that Benjen Stark is in. And so
Ooh,
then, yeah,
I like that.
That's
awesome.
It's pretty great. And so when they were like, Benjen Stark might still be alive, I was like, oh, is this like the Lady Cragheart thing? I was honestly thinking that maybe he was like a weird monster that had been raised for the dead. And then there was nothing, and I was like, uh-oh. That's kind of when I knew. I was like, okay, yeah, this is actually very bad for Jon. And then he got stabbed.
Yeah.
For the watch.
Ugh.
For the watch.
Those bitches.
For the watch. Ollie, your balls ain't even dropped. You can't stab me.
That freaking Ollie. After everything John did for him, he's just a little.
He was a little
It's
bitter butt the
ungrateful.
whole time.
Yeah, Ollie's not great.
No.
So season 5 in general, it's a downer.
Yeah.
It's a slog in a lot of ways. But I there are some things I really like in it, and I find it very essential, and I actually think it's really important to the bigger picture. But some people like genuinely really dislike this season. I'm just curious, who was your MVP of the season? And then we'll kind of talk about going forward. What did you enjoy most? I should say, not it can be an MVP or it can just be like, what did you enjoy out of it? Riley?
This season was rough. I liked John's stuff. I think the stuff of the wall was really interesting this season because in past seasons, like, other things have been a lot more exciting than anything happening at the wall, so I haven't looked forward to it. But this season, like, I really liked what they did with the wildlings and everything, and I think that will be a cool thing to see what happens there next season.
Like, when you're right though, like it's often a more boring storyline, or like like we liked what was going on with him and that girl, and that girl, you knew nothing, Jon Snow. And then there was last season, like there's the battle, like cool things happen, but you're right, this is the first one where you're like, I'm hyped to be back here.
Yeah.
Even though there's like a very well written tension between him and the other knights and figuring out what's going on. Hardhome is of course like just spectacular. What like a movie quality level sequence in an episode that probably only cost them like $12 million. It's pretty impressive.
Yeah, no,
But that's serious compared
really
to like
is, yeah.
like a Marvel movie. They probably spend $50 million on just the last 30 minutes of that movie.
Yeah.
The fact that they can do that is pretty cool.
Yeah.
That was an incredible. Yeah, that really was an incredible part of the season.
Tyler, what was your favorite part of the season, or aside from John?
I love the King's Landing stuff. I think it was like some of the most unexpected stuff for me this season, and took some of the most interesting leaps. I don't know. I love the organized religion seizing power. Like that's such a cool storyline, and
It flips things in a really nice way.
yeah, the power totally shifts up there, and I'm excited. I mean, I'm just excited to see what Cersei does with that nun.
Yes.
There's some anti-nun sentiments here. You need to go watch Sister Act just to make sure you have a fair and balanced view of nuns. Professor McGonagall is fantastic in those.
No, but I just think that's great, and I think that it's one of those things that pushes Cersei's character in a new direction, but
Yeah.
I think
new
also
haircut.
pushes her even further. At least the way I'm thinking about it right now, what I think will happen also pushes her even further down the path that she's already been going down. You know what I mean? So I loved that stuff. I didn't expect to like that stuff as much as I did. So
Yeah, because
That's some of my
it's
favorite
painful
stuff
because you're like, I don't want to root for Cersei, but I don't like what's happening either.
yeah,
I like how many oh shits you had in the description of this episode because that only gets better.
good.
Tyler, did you have a different storyline you wanted to comment on or character?
Yeah. I mean, both of those ones are highlights for me as well.
Yeah.
Like the moment where John cuts Janos Slint's head off and has to make that choice, and then
really
everything that comes after it for him makes the day-to-day at the wall much more interesting.
Yeah.
I love the High Sparrow. He's probably my favorite new character in the show. Other than that, Arya's storyline, even though there's not a lot of time with it, is really intriguing, and we get to see some payoffs for her. And also, what I really like about the show is when a payoff happens, but then it leads into something else. Like it's the start of something new as opposed to an ending. And yeah, her not breaking, but her going against her mission, essentially making that choice and then getting punished for it is really great, to the point where it's like her becoming blind, someone losing one of their senses, like Jaime losing his hand. It's like on that level. It's it's really interesting, and she's gonna be going through some more interesting stuff in the next season.
Yeah, I think that that's like a really important thing for her character too at the end of the season, because up to this point she's absolutely suffered, but not necessarily like directly because of what she has done or because she's acted in a reckless way.
Yeah.
That usually kind of pays off for her, and so for that to happen is kind of a big deal. And I'm excited to see what that changes with her.
I do want to say shouts to Tyrion because he really takes a back seat in this season. But he talks himself out of a lot of crazy stuff, and he's really queued himself up to be in a very interesting spot. I mean, not all that dissimilar from King's Landing, but he's alive. He's got a new queen. And he's just an incredible character. And man, I just want you guys to remember how freaking good he is in those court scenes. Man, he's so good. I love him.
He really is.
So from the two new recruits here to the wall, I want two predictions. One thing that you're like, I'm excited for this and I really think it's going to go this way. And I want one that's a little bit more out there, a little bit more like, this sounds crazy, but anyone can go first with either one of their predictions.
Oh man.
Just give me two. Just one's got to be a little weirder.
Well, okay. This one is one that I had during the episode, but that was immediately disproved during the episode. But I still want to say it.
Let's do it.
Is when this is I feel kind of dumb saying this. When Dany, when they land and she's like, "Where did you take me?" I was like, "Is she in Westeros?"
Oh,
It just would be an incredibly long.
I kind of wondered that too. I was like, where?
But I was like, are the Boltons gonna find her or something? Like something.
We've been flying over water for
like,
how long? Where could we be?
But I was like, is that what's happening right now? So that's my first one. That is we now know is not true. But how cool would that be?
it would have been dope.
I guess the other prediction for next season that I'm excited to see, and I really hope things kind of go that way, is I want to see Cersei kind of regain control on King's Landing. And I think she's going to do some pretty messed up stuff to do that. She's been pretty... I mean, I think that up to this point, Cersei's game has been pretty, like, backdooring people and, like...
Being backdoored.
Yeah, like... Yeah. But it's been more like...
How the show starts out.
It's been, like, behind the scenes, you know what I mean? She's always been really good at that. And now she has a literal monster, which she kind of had before, but now it's just totally a monster. I'd be excited to see her become more aggressive and upfront about her struggle for power. So that's mine. I don't know if that's
Riley, what predictions you got?
One thing, like with Arya, I don't think that she will remain blind. I'm thinking that she could like earn her sight back, maybe.
Like with the merit system.
Yes, she'll like earn a bunch
Merit
of stars.
badges.
She'll be able to trade those to the Thin Man for new corneas.
Can I need to kill you? Can I have one of the eyes of the people you've killed?
I mean, it came on really quickly, and there's a bunch of faces, and those faces have eyes. So maybe if when she has a different face on, she can see those through those eyes.
They're
that's
like
good.
glasses.
There we go. You made that.
Yeah.
Yep.
I wonder what predictions I had, or little like the thing that you thought about. I'm like, I bet I had a ton of those. I wish I remembered more of them.
I felt like such an idiot. I assume it was a 30 long seconds of me being like, holy crap.
And then another is Jamie's on his way back to King's Landing right now, and he doesn't know all this shit that's going down.
Oh,
And
yeah.
like obviously he's been accused of incest as well, so I wonder if the Sparrows will like seize him right when he gets there, and if he'll be kind of thrown into the dungeons and have to go through that.
Good point.
So those are my two.
All right. Who, after 5 seasons, we are 5/8 of the way through, even though the last 2 seasons are shorter. Let's say we're around 5/8 done with this story. If you had to guess who was going to end up on the Iron Throne, who would you guess?
Daenerys Targaryen.
Yes,
That's what I'm guessing.
that's who I want to be there at the end.
Based on where we're at now.
Do you have any issues with the fact that she's been so separate for the vast majority of the series, and then she could just swoop in and win, or is that exciting because we've been waiting for her to like not be isolated?
I think it's kind of exciting. Like I'm just excited to see the worlds collide, and I think also if Tyrion's on Team Dany, I'm on Team Dany. So
Yeah.
fuck you.
And with Tyrion there with her, like he's gonna be teaching her about everything that's been going on in Westeros, so there won't be that much of a divide between the two. I think.
I
going forward.
think the things that we talked about before this season about like, well, she's gonna have to take one of two paths, and like it's either gonna be to learn how to be a better leader or get those dragons under control and just mess some shit up. Like, I do think the position she's put herself in, the people that are around her, well, not currently around her because it's a bunch of dudes on horses, which didn't go great the first time. Like, I think that's that like seems to be the best chance, and I'm kind of with Varys. She could be the best leader that Westeros has seen for a while. So
Look, every year the Patriots win the Super Bowl. Here's why I hate it. It's like if Tommen wins the Game of Thrones. It's if the Lannisters really just figure out a way to ride this out.
He's been deflating the throne.
it's easier to sit on.
All right.
It's
Season
easier
5.
to hold on to the throne when it's not so hard and big.
It's like a
I took a few swords off. Put a few daggers on so they wouldn't, so they'd be in the back and they wouldn't stab me. Okay. Any other comments on season 5 or episodes 9 and 10, which again are a lot of fun.
Yeah.
A lot goes down, like you said, a lot of holy shit moments.
Yeah.
I'm very excited.
I'm excited to see Bran again.
Me too.
Yeah.
Who?
Are
I
you?
forgot for like there were a couple times where I totally forgot. Like, and they leave him on such a crazy thing in season 4 and then don't address it.
Where he
for that
finally
long. Like,
is doing something that people want to see. They're like, oh, we'll just leave him.
yeah, that's crazy.
I don't know if... The kid's going through puberty, okay? We're going to talk about this being next season anyway. He's like 6 feet taller. It's hilarious.
Oh
I
my
just wanted you to
gosh.
picture that real quick.
Also, does he have a haircut?
I don't know.
Like his hair's short
No,
again?
I think it's really long.
Oh, I thought it was short again. I'm like, They're like, well, we got to the tree, time to groom. Like,
Well, the children of the forest, they keep it neat.
It's shaved on one side, and grown now on the other side.
That's what Marjorie did in the third Hunger Games movie.
This is true, yeah, for sure.
Yeah. We really are
It
all
is
over
not.
the pop culture sphere today. We went from Sum 41.
And I was totally going to make a Blue Shell reference when we talked about Jon Snow's death because you had brought up Mario Kart. I forgot
the leader.
man.
Oh, man.
to. The leader gets it no matter what.
Everybody, pull out your switches. Okay. Snitchy. Okay.
Snitches
Is
get
that?
switches.
We can be done. We can be done. Hey, that was Rewatchers on the Wall, Season 5, Episodes 9 and 10. Come back for Season 6 because we are really on the downhill. Shit's about to get real fun.
Yeah, so much fun. Maybe. I don't know.
I don't
haven't
know.
seen it.
Bye-bye
First
now.
time.